Hey everybody, welcome once again to Golarion Illuminated. I am Michael T. Bradley.
And I am Jason Freston.
And we are going to continue talking about the factions, the 5 factions that are available now for Pathfinder Society organized play. Okay, so we've gone over Taldor, Cheliax, and Andor, and now we're going to start with Taldor a little bit again. You remember before we were talking about Taldor and how they were they kind of let Cheliax go because they were too busy with Qadira. So, what was going on with Qadira there? Let's talk about Qadira.
Qadira and Taldor have been kind of at odds for a very, very, very long time. You don't see it on this map, but Qadira is part of another, is a vassal state of another nation that goes expansively that way. So,
just quick map note. That's Qadira, Taldor, Absalom, where you start. So
Qadira and Taldor have been at odds for a very, very long time, and I believe that when Cheliax ended up seceding from Taldor, Qadira was they weren't quite at a war yet, but they were definitely rattling sabers at each other, and Taldor just didn't feel like it could take a war on 2 fronts. So they ended up just letting them go.
Okay, so Qadira has always been its own nation, correct?
Well, like I said, Qadira has been a vassal nation of the
Padishah Empire of Kalesh.
Okay. So why would someone choose to play a Qadira?
Qadira is the Arabian setting. I mean, the Arabian nation. I mean, if you like any of that type of that feel of you know, the deserts and 1001 Arabian Nights. Sorry, gosh. Totally losing my mind here. Then that's definitely the faction for you. There's also a lot of, you know, the genies, the jinn, all that type of deal ends up happening down there in that area.
Which you probably could have guessed because the name is so close to Al-Qadim from 2nd edition.
Yeah, so it's, you know, and I'm sure they both have their root from something that I don't know.
Yeah.
So that all ties into that together. But all of that's there. Also one of the this right here, Qadira is also one of the largest trading ports in all of Golarion. Well, at least all of
the Inner Sea.
The Inner Sea. So it's pretty close to Absalom and its importance in that area. So there's a ton of money backing them right there. So they are a huge trade port, and anything and everything you want you can get through there. So it's a very metropolitan place in that sense also.
Right. So both the Arabian thing and the idea of being a trader, those are the two kind of big ideas behind it, correct?
Yeah.
Any other little fun bits of history or fun things involved with being a Qadiran or being or just Qadira in general?
Well, like I said, at least for me, one of the cool things about them is they are part of this larger empire, which we haven't really been told very much about. So it's kind of like there's this mystery of they are a vassal nation for something much, much bigger and much, you know, not necessarily well the stories about the empire are crazy. You know, there's all types of these, you know, that the fear of the unknown, you know, that of what's back there and that, so that can be kind of fun.
Do you want to hold up the Qadira book?
Yes, by all means. There you go. So flying carpets, like, so seriously, if you like, you know, any of the Sinbad movies, anything like that, these guys are your guys.
I actually remembered I was totally pressed for something that I was thinking about before, and it slipped my mind, came back to me now. Something important to mention, I think, with all these factions is that just because you are Qadiran, your faction is Qadiran, that does not mean you are from Qadira. So you could play, well, technically you could play, I don't know, Ustalavian, who happens to be a Qadiran, but, you know, just to keep it kind of simple with the things we're talking about, you could totally play somebody from Andor who rejects their philosophy and runs for Taldor, who is a Taldorian faction. So you can kind of have fun with those sorts of things. You might look a lot different than what your actions are.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, so let's go on to our final nation-state faction thing, which is the only one not on this continent, and the one with the most difficult to pronounce name. It's either Osirion, Osirion, or Osirion.
I call it Osirion, but I'm sure that's wrong, so...
Yeah, and but it's everything basically makes a circle right here around Absalom with Cheliax a little bit out to the side. So I would assume the new factions are going to be added. Probably going to be Thuvia and Raladoom and Katapesh and things like that. But anyway, Osirion, tell us about being Osirion.
Now from flavor, well, history-wise, let's go with that first. They were their nation for a very long time, and they actually ended up, and this is how it kind of ties a little bit back to Taldor again, is they actually end up eventually being conquered by Qadira. And so for a long time, very long time,
Osirion
was part of Qadira. Again, kind of a vassal state of the
Padishah Empire of Kalesh.
overall. So they've only relatively recently broken free of that and kind of reclaimed their own history again. So flavor-wise, Egyptian, you know, so it's same sand, different flavor type of a thing, you know. So if you're looking for Egyptians, mummies, those tombs out in the middle of the desert, then that's the Osirion are your faction for that.
Scarabs.
Scarabs.
If you like beetles.
Hippo and/or crocodile gods, depending. That's all in there, which is pretty awesome with that. Also, the fact that they just kind of ended up kind of reclaiming their own nation means that there's a lot of mysteries in their own nation that they don't know about. So you also still have that kind of that archaeological feel to it, you know, because these people are now just kind of going back out on their own and exploring their own nation again. So along with everybody else, it's like kind of been opened up now. Well, it's always been open, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of been like recently rediscovered in the sense that there's like this gold rush to kind of get down there and like loot the tombs and see the pyramids and whatnot. So
now, is there also I actually I run 2 society games, and one of them actually happens to be all Osirion, kind of randomly ended up that way, and it seems like their faction missions always tend towards power building as well, much like the Taldorians. Is that what would you say kind of differentiates those two on that note?
The
Osirion
are not nearly as decadent as Taldor to begin with. Though they are definitely just as egotistic, but just in different ways. Their Ruby Prince is like God ordained. I mean, you know, he's not just a prince. He's not necessarily a god in human flesh. They don't quite go that far with it.
But it's like a divine law.
But it's definitely a divine order with that. So they do have their egotism with it. But their reasoning behind it is a different type of a deal. They're not all about me, but they are definitely much about, you know, we're good because we are. So in that sense.
So it seems like they all kind of have that in one way or another. It's like Andoran's like manifest destiny. Cheliax is like might makes right in a way. I mean, because they follow an evil demon lord or devil lord.
Devil,
yeah. And Taldor is, you know, we were the best, we were the first. We will rise again. Osirion is
we're ancient. I mean, they're old. They're really, really old, and they have that kind of divine.
Yeah. Once we get our UFO beetle things going again, because that's what the picture looks like. I'm not really sure.
Well, and yeah. So sorry, we gotta get this up here.
Yeah.
There we go. It's Egyptian.
Bringing a little.
So
yeah. So as you can see, a sphinx and a mummy tomb raw thing. It's very very Thundercats.
And then
then Qadira is like. They don't really seem that egotistical. They're just like, we'll buy all your asses once you're in debt to us.
Their money is power. That's like money is the means to itself. So,
all right. So, any other fun facts about Osirion?
Again, very much like if you like the Egyptian stuff, or if you like playing the Egyptian style thing, or if you like playing the explorer, the Egyptian explorer type of a deal, then
Osirion
definitely your cup of tea.
All right, so go ahead.
I was going to say, and then you know, like you said, these all circle Absalom, and and so they're all vying for it. You know, these guys are all butting heads constantly for Absalom.
Oh, that's right. The entire kind of point of the factions is gaining control of Absalom.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
That's each of their end games for their own reasons is to control Absalom.
Right. So So here's the thing. I don't know how crunchy you guys would like us to get. We're much more interested in flavor here, but if you want some more crunch, like specifically on the society things and going about making a character there and what the differences are, we could totally get into that. Let us know what you want, and we will delve into that. Much more interested in going into the history, so hopefully we'll start talking about more places on this vast map, as you can see.
Right.
But if you would rather go into crunchier stuff, let us know, because we're more than happy to do that. This could just be completely and totally a society organized play based. Either way is fine. But for as of right now, the plan is to stick more with kind of general places, history, little bits you might not know from different places around the world. Yeah, but until then, we'll just stick with that plan. Let us know if you want something different. All right, thanks for watching. I am Michael T. Bradley.
And I am Jason Freston.
Have a good day.
The fear of the unknown, you know, that of what's back there and that, so that can be kind of fun.
So just keep in mind, these are devil worshippers and like baby rapers, saying that these are crazy stories.
Yeah, so
I totally just made up the baby raping for Andor, but
totally. They really don't.